redefine your relationship with energy, save you money, and get you on the path to a cleaner, greener future. JFW Renewables, your nationwide solar energy specialists. Call us today for a greener tomorrow.
Pension auto-enrollment will soon be introduced. This means that all full-time workers over the age of 23 earning more than €20,000 per year must contribute to a pension, and employers must contribute. What are those pension entitlements, and is there independent advice available? The Q Financial Pension Team are experienced in advising both employees and employers of the positive and affordable options available for your situation. Call 091 421 900 or log on to qfinancial.ie.
Q Financial, qfinancial.ie.
Based in Clare, Galway, OMA Financial Services Limited, trading as qfinancial.ie, is an authorised independent pension intermediary regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Welcome into Tuam Stadium. It's the Senior Football Championship in Galway. It's the second round of matches, and we're focused in on a very interesting clash of the city and the north. It's St James's against Dunmore MacHales, two sides who come into this with differing needs of a victory. Dunmore, having blown a 9-point lead against Moycullen in the opening round, know that they really need to get a victory if they're going to stay involved in the championship. St James's not quite as much pressure. They drew with Monavea Abbey in the first round, but having seen Monavea Abbey lose heavily to Moycullen in their round 2 match yesterday, I'm sure St James's realise that this is most probably their best opportunity of adding to their 1-point tally for themselves to stay involved in the championship. So there's no doubt there's a huge amount at stake between these two sides. Dunmore MacHales, coming up from intermediate 2 years ago, are now in their second season in senior football, and St James's was led by their talismanic midfielder Paul Conroy. Will be very much hopeful of avoiding the threat of relegation, which was very much uppermost in their thoughts in last season's championship. Let's have a look at both lineups ahead of tonight's championship match. And we're going to start with St James's, the city side, who of course, as I mentioned already, are led by Paul Conroy in the middle of the field. Paul, of course, had a wedding yesterday as his brother got married, but he is selected to line out in the middle of the field, alongside young up-and-coming star Sam O'Neill. That's a powerful unit. The very experienced Johnny Doohan will lead the defence for St James's from centre-back, and they'll be hoping that Lee Vahy and Owen Finnerty can get forward and cause problems to the Dunmore defence. Up front, Jonah Culligan in the centre forward berth is alongside Jack O'Neill and Desi Hines, and Fintan Cooney and Aaron Connolly are two of the main score getters alongside Jack Nolan in the forward line. All in all, a great balance to Barry Downey's side. St James's will be very much hopeful of taking both championship points here today. For Dunmore MacHales, well, it's a case of now or never. Last year they took the scalp of Tuam Stars and drew with Mountbellew Moylock, and they were close to topping that in the opening round before coming a cropper late on with an injury time goal which denied them a famous victory over Moycullen. They've got County star Conor Gleeson between the posts. They also have the Murray brothers in the half-back line, Sean and Luke. Martin Cleary brings a lot of experience to the Dunmore MacHales midfield alongside the dynamic Shane McGrath, who, if this game does feature a penalty, is their most likely taker. At the half-forward line, Jamie Cohn, Jake Slattery and Dylan Brady will be powerhouses and industrious up and down the field. But there's no question where Dunmore's strength lies, and in their 15 they have as good a full forward line as there is in county club football at the moment, with the Costello brothers, Cullum and Porrick, both with inter-county experience, and Thomas Gleeson, the brother of goalkeeper Connor, is another prodigious talent. For Dunmore MacHales, they will feel that this is their destiny to get their championship aspirations back on track. Our match referee today is Christopher Ryan, again a very, very experienced official who's also on the inter-county panel, and he will certainly be looking forward to taking charge of this championship encounter between Dunmore MacHales and St James's. Delighted to be joined on co-commentary by former Galway and Headford forward Porrick Cunningham. And I suppose, Porrick, we see one of your old stalwarts and former managers as well, John Caulfield, the Galway United boss, joins us here in the stand as well. So huge interest in this fixture, not just among the GA community. I think there's a great sense of excitement in the city about St James's coming to Tuam. And first of all, your impressions on the new Joe O'Toole stand being open, your first time watching a match from this vantage point.
Yes, experience this senior football clash. I'm really looking forward to seeing Paul Connery out again playing. Like, he's just a joy to watch, I think, in the middle of the park. And then you have, as you said yourself, the experience, the young forwards of Sam O'Neill, Jack O'Neill. So yeah, look, it's going to be a cracker, humdinger, and Dunmore with plenty of firepower in that full forward line. Yeah, they'll be looking to the Costellos. I mean, they're top class players. You've seen them enough in the last 2 seasons. What's your impressions? Yeah, they're a real threat, and what I like about them, they're very direct. They get the ball, they go straight at the heart of your goal. There's no maybe jink 2-3 times. They're just going straight for you, and that's probably the youth in them. And then they have the bit of experience with Thomas Gleeson then as well. Dunmore will have the breeze in this opening half, Porrick, as we watch Conor Gleeson trot down to the goal to our right hand side, which is at the scoreboard end of Tuam Stadium. So there will be very much an onus on Dunmore to get off to a good start here, and backed by that breeze we saw in the fixtures yesterday that it is certainly a huge advantage. But for Dunmore, this is certainly a backs to the wall situation. They're playing in black jerseys with a green trim. For St James's, they're wearing the green tops and white shorts, and it is St James's who make the first attack of the game, and already a mark to the inside line. A touchdown from the throw-in and an excellent start for the city side, and a chance for them to get the opening score as the ball is chipped high up and to the right hand side and wide. Opportunity gone a begging there, and I think every score that we see, that was Aaron Connolly, any score into that goal is going to be worth its weight in goal. And we saw last night as well, Porrick, there will be goal opportunities, especially when you're playing into that wind, when you try and work the ball short. Certainly a goal in this game will be pivotal as well. Yeah, definitely, 100%, and just shows the range of kick passing from Johnny Dewan there. It was a break. It was obviously a tent, his first nearly rehearsed thing, and he delivered the ball, 60-yard pass in the top. Aaron Connolly won it. Unfortunately for Aaron, he missed, but look, as you said, it's not the scoring goal, so when the ball is carried up the field, it'll probably be a lot stiffer of a shot to take. Great take from the kick out from Conor Gleeson by Shane McGrath. Lovely jinking run inside here. Opportunity for Dunmore now with coming forward is Luke Murray. Luke trying to get it off on the outside towards Cullum Costello, but St James has snuff out that particular attack and do very well up along the sideline to work the ball out of danger. Des Hines turning back, and the flame-haired wing forward manages to leave it back towards Johnny Culligan, and they come again. Paul Conroy, centre of the field, another player that certainly you would pay the admission fee alone just to see Conroy. Surely an all-star wing its way to the St James's man in a couple of weeks' time. On the left-hand side, James has come again, looking to try and make inroads. A lot of good players on the field today. Conroy switches it over this near side towards Johnny Culligan. He's got support outside him in Des Hines. They've been linking up a lot in the opening moments of this game. Still waiting for the first score. 2 minutes in.
Nice ball played it too, but again, Dunmore have plenty of players back there, including Sean Murray, who managed to intercept that and helped out by Danny Ford, and a chancy bit of play at the back by Colin Lyons, but he kept his head and kept his cool. I think that's one thing we notice, Warwick, don't we, about players now. They're not afraid to, like, they don't seem to panic in these situations anymore. They're very comfortable on the ball.
Yeah, they are, and it's a big thing. It's more the supporters, I think, and the management on the sidelines. The player in the situation seems very calm, and like it was brilliant there from from Colin Lyons, like to just like two men around him, and he got off the hand pass and set out Dunmore on the attack.
Yeah, and they have the ball. Still waiting for the first score of the game. 2.5 minutes in. The only shot at the target so far was from Aaron Connolly, but that went to the right and wide. So one wide on the board for St. James's, and waiting for the first score. And quite a breeze here in Tuam Stadium. It is helping Dunmore, and they now drive forward. Shane McGrath off the left is going to go for the first score. Should get it and drops it into the goalkeeper's hands. Although the referee says late hit, and that will be a free in. So the advantage was accruing. McGrath knew it, got the shot off within the 5 seconds. So good smart play from the Dunmore man. Gave himself two chances of the point there. The one that he took, and now of course it's going to come back for the free. And I think Conor Gleeson is going to come up. Well, there's plenty that wished that this was the scenario with about a minute to go in injury time at the end of the All-Ireland final. Let's see how Gleeson gets on with this kick. He is right of centre. It's certainly not as central as the one that he got in the Connacht final. I'm sure you've watched that over and over, that winning point. That was something else. One of the highlights of the year.
Yeah, definitely. It was unbelievable. It was a great kick under so much pressure, and a man like him to just step up and kick with such ease was brilliant to see.
He shouldn't have any issue with distance here, Porrick. He's outside the 45, so it's 46 metres out, but he scoops it a little bit. It's in around the edge of the square. Good goalkeeping. Excellent keeping by James Egan, who came outside his box to gather that one. There was nobody else getting in his way, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was brilliant. He got up nice and early and fetched it at the highest point nearly.
Now it's Fintan Cooney. Driving out from the back is Sam O'Neill. Big man, isn't he? Very athletic.
A big athletic man, yeah, he is, definitely.
And mentioning big and athletic, Johnny Doohan has done it all over the years. Still a great stalwart. Often turn towards Owen Finnerty. Finnerty trying to get it to the inside line towards Jack O'Neill. O'Neill is Conroy on the curl. Conroy just has to force the ball back out the field. James's won't mind this, I'm sure. They're the ones playing into the elements, so a bit like we saw with Currafin last night in their clash with Clare Galway. When they were playing against the elements in the first half, they were very content to play a containing game, and oftentimes were just jogging around at almost walking pace, using up the clock, running down the minutes, and ensuring that they stay within 2 or 3 points of the opposition until they have the elements in the second half. So this puts a bit of pressure on Dunmore, does it, Porrick, to try and somehow come out and interrupt this, albeit it is early on.
Yeah, it is, but it's, you spoke about it there, Ollie. James are really content in keeping the ball, and Dunmore seem to set back, and they have the double sweeper, you'd nearly say, playing. So probably for Dunmore, with the element of this breeze, they probably do need to push out, get out on the ball, try to get hands out, again, probably try to turn them over in the middle third, not sitting back in the final third.
They're always conscious, of course, as well of the damage that the likes of Conroy or Doohan can do. So Dunmore are keeping it tight, and they have an absolute blanket across their defence at the moment. Nowhere for St. James's to go. There is literally 15 Dunmore men inside their own 45 right now, which is pretty excessive by any standards of blanket defence. This is a quilt that Dunmore have thrown out here in front of St. James's. Here's Owen Finnerty coming forward, but he has to turn around and go back, and this is all very well and good, but Johnny Doohan realises, hey lads, this is not hurting us, it's hurting ye. And it's eventually going to force Dunmore. And I suppose in a bigger picture, Porrick, it's these kind of moments and these 3, 4, 5 minute spells of nothing happening, the ball just going over and back, that drives people cracked when they talk about the ills of Gaelic football.
Yes, and that's exactly it. Like, look at it, it's obviously we all know it's gone really, really tactical in the last couple of years, and this is a prime example of it here. Like, I think James have held the ball since the 4th minute, so they're 2.5 minutes in, and they've gone back and over the side of the pitch so many times. But it's so hard to break down. It just gets probably boring is probably the word to say. Like, you know, and as you're watching it, like. But
there's no question. It's Keep ball from James's. Now they drop it in around the house. Conor Gleeson has to come out. It's a dangerous ball. Anything could happen in there. It's still spilling in there, and in the end Colin Lyons has to play a bit of soccer and come out with the ball. Dunmore get away with it.
He's done very well there Colin. There was two men around him, big Aaron Connolly and Fintan Cooney, and he held his body well and got the ball up and got it offloaded out for break out the attack.
Dylan Brady gets hit and it's a free. Well, we know that Colin Lyons was an absolutely fantastic scrum half with Dunmore Rugby Club, who got to the Connacht Cup final this year. Kind of showed his ability for Dunmore Town FC there as well, as he shimmied his way out in a very dangerous position. But Dunmore escape, and now they come forward after that free for the foul on Brady, and it's worked through the hands with Jamie Cohen. Martin Cleary, nice little intricate bit of play here, still jinking his way left and right, trying to get it onto the more favoured right boot. Is Dylan Brady, gets it off to McGrath, bursts down through the centre. McGrath might think about going low here. McGrath is in on goal, shot back of the net from Shane McGrath. He is absolutely lethal, and that is a wonderful individual effort. 3 defenders beaten. An absolutely magical bit of play from Shane McGrath.
Brilliant.
That's what he brings to the table.
It is, yeah, and it's absolutely brilliant. The little step at the end, probably 2 St James's defenders come to meet him and think that he's just going to tap it over the bar. He takes that little step and an absolutely exquisite finish into the bottom corner.
Well, that's got everybody on their feet here in Tuam Stadium. We were talking about the boredom of the previous 5 minutes. What a contrast to 10 seconds of absolute magic once McGrath. They'll be showing that on the highlights reel, I think, for quite some time afterwards. Now St James's have to respond. Will that give us a game of football that we hope we get? Here's an effort from the boot in the centre of the field there of midfielder Sam O'Neill, but that's gone out to the right hand side and wide.
I think it's a 45, they're saying.
Was there a touch? There was.
Yeah, it's 45.
It was Jack O'Neill with the shot in the end, but Jacko's got a touch, so James's do get a 45 out of that. But Dunmore MacHales leading by a goal to no score. The first score of the game is a goal after 8 minutes from Shane McGrath. Now let's see if the St James's goalkeeper James Egan can do what Conor Gleeson failed to do, which is point an effort from the 45. He's got his choice of footballs here. Both of them say O'Neill's, but one might be just slightly softer than the other. I don't know, you took plenty of frees as well. Were you a bit pernickety about the air pressure in the ball, Porrick?
I probably was, yeah. I'd be picky enough in that situation as well, I suppose.
Did you like the ball really solid? Or?
It's solid, yeah. You want a solid strike. If flat ball, it mightn't even lift at all.
And it's funny because the goalies, speaking from the number 1 union, we always liked when there was not as hard, because it was easier to kick out and easier to kick longer. So I suppose there you go. The difference at either end of the field. Is a good strike from Egan, but he's pulled it across the goal. That's not even going to go wide. It's kept in play. This could work out very well for St James's, because Dunmore didn't quite have that covered, and now here comes the shot. Should be an effort. It's not. It's gone to the right hand side and wide. Jack O'Neill with the left boot after the free was kept in play, recycled, and off the left he's pulled it across the goals. And there's no question, the evidence of the first 10 minutes would suggest it's going to be very difficult to get any sort of a score at the scoreboard end of Tuam Stadium this evening.
Yeah, definitely, and you can see that wind is that's probably an effort on the 21 from Jack O'Neill, and it just skews off to the right and wide. It just shows the strength in that wind.
Well, we mentioned the Galway United manager John Caulfield is here. You might get more goals or scores in a soccer match at this point, because after 11 minutes it's 1 goal to no score to Dunmore MacHales, or 1-0 in John's parlance. Now that's going to change. It's a brilliant strike and a brilliant score on the run from Sam O'Neill to open the account for St James's. Another bit of brilliance as he took the ball outside the 45, took on Jamie Cohen, and outside of the right, that's the skill that was needed into the wind. Yeah,
brilliant, absolutely a brilliant score. He drove at the heart of the Dunmore defence, and he just went straight down to the right hand side of the middle of the D, and he kicked a brilliant score outside the boot.
A goal to a point as Conor Gleeson takes his time. This is going long, albeit to this near side, and signals were all mixed up there, so that certainly didn't work as St James's win the ball back with Sam O'Neill. 11 and a half minutes gone. Dunmore a goal, James is a point. That's right, we've only had 2 scores in this opening period. The goal was certainly worth waiting for, and James's point wasn't half bad either, but there's been an awful lot of tactical stuff over and back, not really making any sort of inroads. And Dunmore certainly have eased the blanket somewhat. They've left 2 up top now. I think they've realised themselves, there's a fit. It is a foul. A lazy hand went in. And that's going to be a free. Dylan Brady, the man penalised. And these are the kind of decisions that, well, in
Paul
the
Conroy,
end, it's going to be a simple free for Paul Conroy, you would think. 20 metres out, just left of the centre. Very doable. And a real giveaway point for Dylan Brady. But I'm sure you've noticed as well, Porrick, that as we spoke about Dunmore, as we watch Conroy first with the free, make sure he taps this one over the bar and does. That makes it a goal to 2 points. Dunmore have definitely changed tactics. You can see them, Gary Delaney down here talking about the fact that the clock is ticking on and they still haven't got a point on the board, and they can't really afford with this wind to have everybody back.
Yeah, definitely. And you could see even there in that attack, I think they left, you said 2, there was even a third man on the middle of the field, so they just probably had made 1 or 2 altercations, kept more bodies up the pitch as much as they could.
That Conroy free is a second point of the day for James's, but Dunmore will be a little bit concerned that 12 and a half minutes in, they haven't raised a white flag yet. Just that bit of brilliance from McGrath, a lot of steps, and in the end the ball is given away. That'll be a free to St. James's, and just a poor bit of play. Jake Slattery running into trouble, and Dunmore, buoyed up by that goal, have really done nothing since. They've completely kind of gone out of the game, if anything.
Yeah, it was kind of just that one moment of brilliance from Shane McGrath, and it's kind of just been all St. James's. They've kind of dictated the pace of the game, kind of playing on their terms, really.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, and they do look a more seasoned, experienced outfit, which they are. There was almost a mark, but not quite, from the wing-back Owen Finnerty. Just took it on the 45 and ran forward, gives it off to Jack O'Neill. Is there an in product here? Conroy's a man all alone in the centre. Here's a chance now for Johnny Culligan. Off the right, has a go at it, should be a point, and is.
Equaliser.
Jameses are playing all the football, and if anything, that goal from McGrath is just about keeping Dunmore in it, because they've offered very, very little in this opening quarter.
Yeah, they have, and that's that. Like, it was that moment of probably 15 seconds of brilliance from Shane McGrath, but as I just said, St. James are really dictating the terms of this game. They've kicked 3 in a row there. They've really, every time the ball goes out deep, they seem to be around the break in the middle of the pitch and winning it.
Yeah, the kickouts are not working either for Dunmore, and James is coming again, and now all Dunmore can do is look on the sideline and think something drastic needs to happen here. Well, there's a great interception at the back, and an opportunity now maybe for Dunmore to turn defence into attack. Luke Murray was the man to intercept there. Now a lovely little pop pass into McGrath, but the pass was behind him from Porrick Costello, and that leads to a free out. What a chance gone a begging.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's just that late. Probably Shane McGrath is trying to time his run there off Porrick Costello, and it just probably a tiny bit behind him. Shane had probably gone just ahead and turnover ball, and James is back out in the attack again. 3
points St. James's, 1 goal Dunmore MacHales, and we've played 15 minutes. It's the St. James's goalkeeper, James Egan, who's in possession, and he's trotting back into his goals now as he passes that one off to Sam O'Neill. In turn, gives it out on this near side towards Johnny Duan. Johnny knows his side are in a very good position right now, so he's literally at walking pace, handing the ball off to Sam O'Neill and taking it back, and he'll kill a few seconds here, and there's no doubt they're just controlling the tempo here. They are the conductors of this particular orchestral movement, and Dunmore can't really lay a glove on James's at the moment, and this is one of those where they're happy enough to take the sting out of the game again. They've done the hard work in negating the Dunmore goal by hitting back with 3 points, and they might even go for a lead score here as they drive forward from the back. Opportunity for Jack Folan. Conroy coming into the play, so too Sam O'Neill. We've said his name a lot in the opening quarter. O'Neill, is he fouled? He is. Free shot coming at the post, drops in, gathered by Conor Gleeson, but the free was still given, and back it comes for a chance for St. James's from outside the D. And if you're on the sideline for Dunmore MacHales now, are you getting concerned?
You are, in terms of just dictating the game, it's in the middle third here. It's all Johnny Duan, Sam O'Neill, Johnny Maloney, Johnny Gilligan. They're all controlling the game, and they're just going back and over the ball, and Dunmore just don't seem to be pressing out. It's like they've no urgency to get scores on the board, considering the breeze is probably a 2 or 3 point breeze, and it's a big kick into the big kick. Like a 50-yard kick would probably be reasonable in shooting in this terms.
That ball is tapped over the bar by Paul Conroy, and so it's St. James's are into the lead. The lone shout of "come on Dunmore," let's see if that reverberates amongst the team, but St. James's are building an excellent platform here for a victory that would take them to 3 points in the group. And that would probably be more than enough for them to be involved in at least a preliminary quarter-final. It certainly would. It'd leave Dunmore MacHales staring down the barrel. And what a last round clash it would be with Monivea Abbey then, because the loser of that would be going into relegation after Monivea Abbey's demise against Moycullen yesterday. There's a late hit. Paul Conroy is more or less saying there wasn't much in that. I think it's just the sheer physique of Conroy might have been the problem there. That's what you call running into an inter-county player. Nice ball back out the field. Chance for Costello to kick a point, and he bombs it out to the right hand side and wide. Let's see, Conroy might be just getting a tick here. I think in fairness to Paul, he's more or less saying I didn't do a whole pile wrong. Christopher Ryan, I think he's happy enough just to enter the name as a tick. I don't think there was a whole pile in it.
No, there wasn't. I think you just said it like it's probably hitting an inter-county stature of Paul Conroy. Like, he's a big man, and so I'd say he just kind of turned at the time as Paul was running. So
I don't generally run into brick walls, but I could imagine if I did, that's what it would feel like. So bad miss at the other end though. Again, Dunmore just kind of snatching and like playing with a decent breeze. Dunmore haven't got a point on the board yet after 18 minutes.
Yeah, it's a big one. But the worrying thing for me is the control of the game. They have no control of the game at all. Playing with that breeze, like look at even kickouts go out here. And it's gone around the.
Paul Conroy looking somewhat bemusedly at the sideline after some of the Dunmore fans felt he kicked out a little bit there at Shane McGrath. McGrath didn't make a meal of it, but the Dunmore fans weren't too impressed. But at the other end, a chance for St. James's. Up and over the bar, another fabulous score.
Yeah, it's a great score.
Jack O'Neill this time. And that one from Jacko has now put James's 2 points in front, 5 points to a goal. Dunmore in big trouble here. Yeah,
they are just the control of the game, and that's the big thing for me in this. But it is another super score from Jack O'Neill. Conroy catches a great kick out in the middle of the field here, offloads the ball, they attack straight at the heart, and then it's just a loop around from Jack O'Neill, gets on the ball and kicks a super score.
Well, Dunmore, remember, were 9 points up against Moycullen in the first round of the championship, and since then the second half became a bit of a calamity, conceding 3 goals. And it's kind of continued here because the first half in Tuam Stadium, bar the bit of brilliance from McGrath, has been largely forgettable from a Dunmore MacHales support, and they have a big support. Colm Costello playing it out the field. Is there a shot from Jamie Cohn? He doesn't even look at the post, just turns around and goes backwards towards Jake Slattery, who goes another 20 yards back to Colin Lyons. He switches it across the far side of the field outside the 45. Sean Murray plays it into the gap. Chance now for Jake Slattery, not really in a position to have a shot, so he has to recycle it to Martin Cleary. Back out the field it goes. And again, Dunmore aren't really going anywhere, only backwards. And all the way back it goes to Colin Lyons, 65 yards out from goal. Now they'll make a run on the left-hand flank with Danny Ford. Can he find Shane McGrath, who's in a more advanced position, and he is a quality player. McGrath, lovely pop pass off to Costello. Porrick, that is. In it goes to McGrath again, jinking left and right. Lovely little intricate bit of play, but there's so many James's players back there. Eventually they turn the ball over, running out of defence. Ooh, very close to too many steps. But in the end he gives the free out for the last hit. But Dunmore really were kind of in a cul-de-sac there, Porrick, not really going anywhere.
Yeah, not going anywhere, and that was kind of it. They were kind of just looking to feed the ball to Shane McGrath, hoping he could probably beat 2 or 3 and kick a score, but they just don't seem to have too much ideas in attack but I suppose it's better in terms of they got control of the game there, they got the ball up the pitch and they kind of worked it back and over, but just didn't have a breaking point, I suppose. Yeah,
there was no end product. And now St. James's have quickly worked the ball up the field. Opportunity now for Jonah Culligan. Jonah's had a pretty good opening 20 minutes, that's for sure. He's got on a lot of ball. Switching it on this near side where Johnny Duane comes into the play. Johnny trying to work the ball infield, looking for Jack Folan. Jack Folan in turn switches it out the field towards this near side. All the time, it's St. James's 5 points, Dunmore MacHales a goal. And we've reached about 8 minutes to go to half time. Possession was with Darren Neary. Neary Trying to switch the ball infield. Here's Jonah Culligan. Jonah, lovely ball across. Opportunity for another score. This one is going to drop high in around the house, and Conor Gleeson is happy to let it go to the right hand side, and wide it is. And so a goal kick to Dunmore MacHales. And the clock continues to tick on. So 8 minutes plus stoppages for Dunmore to try and get something out of this half. Shane McGrath is battling over there, but again, two men will beat one all day long. And it's St. James's who pick it up with Owen Finnerty, get the free. And all day long, Dunmore have had problems with the kick-out strategy as well, Porrick.
They have, yeah.
Bodies there.
I'm surprised Conor hasn't gone maybe even short, or one or two, just in terms of get the ball in handed for Dunmore and try to carry it up the field. He has gone long a lot, and St. James's seem to have bodies always around where the pockets he's landed the ball into.
James will be very happy the way this game is going. Paul Conroy fouled. Takes the free quickly, looking for the return, the 1-2. The third man tackle there means a free out. So a little bit of respite there for Dunmore. The ball had been kicked over the bar subsequently by Conroy, but he's a little bit aggrieved. But the referee was right on the spot and saw the St. James's man, I think it's Jonah Culligan, that ran across the line of one of the... No, it's not Jonah. It's on the far side of the field there. It looks like it's Owen Finnerty, and he's picked up a yellow card. So Owen is in the book. The wing back for St. James's just ran across the line, and referee Christopher Lyon is very quick to brandish the yellow. First of the game. Sean Murray for Dunmore MacHales picks up the ball now on his own 65-metre line as Dunmore attack the town goal, trying to get their first point of the game. They have a goal, but they trail St. James's by 5 points to 1 goal. And remember, it's Dunmore playing with the breeze in this first half, and it hasn't been a good half for Dunmore, but that could all change in the blink of an eye. Jamie Cohen jinking back. Porrick Costello thinking about winding up for a shot. Jamie Cohen likewise, but too many James's players. Chance is gone, and back out the field it goes outside the 45, and you can hear the groans through the audience as Dunmore have to try and start again. But this time it's 15 St. James's men who are set in their defensive wall, and there's absolutely no way through this. Chance for Colm Costello, who's really got on very little ball of note. We were bigging up the full forward line of the two Costellos, and Thomas Gleeson hasn't even touched the ball in this opening half yet.
Yeah, it is, and like he's really out far out the field here, trying to just receive the ball or get his hands on it even, which is quite worrying for Dunmore. It's considering they've 24 and a half minutes gone and they've only had one attempt as a shot for a point, like, as well. So Martin Cleary looked to try and play a through ball there, but that was blocked down. Might have a second go at it. Gives it into Thomas Gleeson, and off the left, drops it in around the house. Good defending again. Strong work at the back as the effort from Gleeson was dropping short. Just too much physicality and strength in there, and there's no doubt that there is a differential in power between the two teams as well. And St. James's carry all the aces. Coming forward now from the back with possession. Nice ball, Johnny Dewan getting it inside, looking for an opportunity for Jack O'Neill again to get on the end of this. Conroy takes control, centre of the field, uses Sam O'Neill, 45 metres out, centre of the pitch. The runner on the loop is Jack Nolan. Nolan gives it back to O'Neill, thinking about getting inside a couple of challenges and having a shot. Referee says play on. There was a few little cat calls for a free, but a lovely ball from Jonah Culligan inside along the end line. Just briefly unmarked was Des Hines. Des being put under ferocious pressure, still manages to get it all the way out to Paul Conroy, and he has to flick it very close to the sideline on this near side. James is keeping in play. Johnny Dewan, thanks to the roar of the crowd, I think realised there was a man on. That was Thomas Gleeson. He gets rid of it very quickly then, gives it off in turn to Jack Folan. Folan in turn gives it off on the left hand side to Darren Neary, and Jameses are happy to run down the clock inside the last 4 minutes, plus whatever stoppages will be added on here. So James is very happy to play keep ball. Jack Nolan on this right hand flank, just playing toe to hand, and James are running down the clock now. It's very obvious for him. Yeah. They're just completely, as we said, they've dictated this whole half on their own terms, and it's been a really probably professional performance, you'd say, from St. James, and dictating, like, they're they're waiting patiently, trying to get the right men on the ball, trying to get them to create the gaps, and then hopefully offload to either Sam, Jack O'Neill, Paul Conroy on the loop for kicking scores. Like
Carl O'Regan coming into the play, Johnny Doohan. It's all very easy for St. James's. Nobody from Dunmore getting anywhere near them, and they're literally just tapping the ball back and over, left to right, right to left, eating up the seconds, and all the time we're ticking closer to half time. Inside 3 minutes now. Not exactly riveting stuff on the edge of your seat, albeit they are brand new seats. Here's O'Regan, man outside him, Jack Nolan goes for the run inside. Nolan might wind up for a shot here off the left, and does. I see the power, he certainly has, but just out to the left hand side and wide. Not quite the accuracy, just had to force it that little bit into the breeze, but it was a good chance.
Yeah, sure was. But the big thing is he had Jack O'Neill probably standing a bit further in, probably more central. I thought he was going to offload somebody, backed himself, and look at it, probably just skewed to the left hand side and wide.
Finally, Dunmore have copped on to the kick-out strategy, and a 30-yard sideways clip to Martin Cleary gets Dunmore in possession, and that's much better, but unfortunately it's taken them 28 minutes to work it out, and in that time they've given a real chance to St. James's to take control of this game. Jake Slattery bursting through the middle now, but he loses the ball in the tackle, and it's just too easy for St. James's. They've got all of the aces back there, they're getting hands in, they've got loads of numbers. Dunmore are going to have to really rethink this whole approach to the game in the second half.
Definitely, yeah, and it's a great tackle from Paul Conroy. He dispossesses Jake Slattery and the breakout, but in terms of Dunmore, like it's probably panicking as soon as they probably know what the score is, and they're looking saying like we've been knocked out. We're not.
Well, there's a heavy foul there on Sam O'Neill as he drove through. There'll be there's two Dunmore players that went into the tackle. Jake Slattery was one, but I think in the end he came off worst. Jake Slattery himself might be struggling to continue in this game, but if there is a card produced, it'll probably be to the Dunmore man, who somewhat ironically ended up getting an injury. He's okay, he's on his feet. The referee is looking for a little bit of guidance from his linesman Dandy Kelly as to where the free is, number one, and who of the two Dunmore players who converged on Sam O'Neill should be spoken to. And in the end, he just decides the free is enough punishment. A minute to be added on. We're starting that in about 30 seconds. And a very forgettable first half for Dunmore MacHales, who literally had one moment of brilliance in the entire 31 minutes and nothing else to talk about.
And that's exactly it, Ali. It was that moment of brilliance from Shane McGrath, but other than that, it's been lethargic, slow from them. They just don't look like they have ideas up their sleeve and how to break down the St. James's back six or back line.
Well, they're very lucky, Dunmore, that the free from Jack Nolan has just been bombed out to the left hand side and wide, and so it will remain a 2-point deficit going into the final minute of play. We've played the 30 minutes. We're now looking at the 1 minute of additional time to be played, and if Dunmore were to come down the field and get a point, it would be a huge boost to them just before half time. You always get that sense that the last score before half time is a big one as well, but again, Dunmore not going to get it with a ball like that out of defence from Luke Murray, which is literally giving the ball straight back to James's to come back at them. And so if anything, it's the City side who have a chance to make amends from that miss. Ball back to Sam O'Neill, lovely flick across, Aaron Connolly, back it goes, should be a point. The ball kicked from Culligan up and over the bar.
Great score
from Jonah Culligan. Best team by a mile.
Yeah, it's a great score, and it's an interception from Johnny Dwan, and when he intercepts, he just takes off and he drives down the left hand side of the pitch for St. James's. Ball offloads it to
Jonah Culligan
to Sam O'Neill, and then Sam O'Neill cut inside and a little offload to Jonah Culligan, and it was an absolute superb kick.
Yeah, he hadn't much time either because he knew the hit was coming, but again, you'd have to question the ball out of Dunmore defence from Luke Murray was just kicked aimlessly. In terms of control of the game, you need to probably get players' hands on the ball, and here's Conor
another
Gleeson
one.
Goes for an up and under straight down the channel to Johnny Doohan. It's, well, very, very disappointing is the only word you could say. But for St. James's, this was a very controlled really top-class senior performance, and there is an obvious gulf between these two teams based on the first half evidence. It looks for all the world like Dunmore are a team just up out of intermediate playing at a different standard, and James's have been around forever, and with the win to come in the second half, you'd worry for Dunmore MacHales right now.
Yeah, you would, and like the big thing is the professionalism from St James's, I think, in terms of the control of the game and the way they attack. There was no panic, no like we've seen the last two attacks from Dunmore. It was two 60-yard kick passes up into the air into probably 1-2 bodies, or there was 4 or 5 St James's. It's worrying, but look at Gary Delaney will get his side in at half time. He'll try to make 1 or 2 changes hopefully and try to get Dunmore to come out and get firing.
First half summary: Dunmore opened the scoring with the goal on 8 minutes through Shane McGrath. They didn't score again, and playing into the breeze, St James's have rattled off 6 points. They've completely dominated every sector of the field, and it's going to be a long way back for the MacHales in the second half. Half time in the Galway Senior Football Championship in Tuam Stadium. St James's 6 points, Dunmore MacHales 1 goal. Come back to us for the second half in just a few minutes.
QFinancial.ie got the price and advice for me.
Pension auto-enrolment will soon be introduced. This means that all full-time workers over the age of 23 earning more than €20,000 per year must contribute to a pension, and employers must contribute. What are those pension entitlements, and is there independent advice available? The Q Financial Pension Team are experienced in advising both employees and employers of the positive and affordable options available for your situation. Call 091 421 900 or log on to qfinancial.ie.
QFinancial.ie.
Based in Clare, Galway, OMA Financial Services Limited, trading as qfinancial.ie, is an authorised independent pension intermediary regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
We redefine your relationship with energy, save you money, and get you on the path to a cleaner, greener future. JFW Renewables, your nationwide solar energy specialists. Call us today for a greener tomorrow.
Might think about going low here. McGrath is in on goal. Shot back of the net from Shane McGrath. He is absolutely lethal. 2 goals, no score to Dunmore MacHales. 1-0 in John's parlance. Now that's going to change. That's a brilliant strike and a brilliant score. Taps this one over the bar. Makes it a goal to 2 points. Dunmore have definitely changed tactics. You can see them. Is there any product here? Conroy's a man all alone the centre. Here's a chance now for Johnny Culligan. Off the right, has a go at it. Should be a point, and is.
Equaliser, 2 or 3 points.
Chance for St James's. And over the bar, and a fabulous score. Back in goal, should be a point. The ball picked from Culligan up and over the bar.
Great score.
Well, welcome back to Tuam Stadium for the second half of Dunmore MacHales and St James's, with the city side second to emerge, but they're very much the ones in control of this championship fixture, leading by 6 points to a goal, and now with a pretty stiff breeze at their backs. I'm sure Dunmore will be very anxious to try and get right back into this game straight from the get-go, but they will have a lot of work to do. And the other thing, Pádraig Cunningham, who joins me on commentary, like, to try and get those 3 points back. Like, Dunmore didn't manage 1 point with a strong breeze. How are they going to get 4 points into the wind to go ahead? I mean, I know James has got 6, but it would need a remarkable turnaround. The point being, will Dunmore need a goal, another one, to get back into this game?
More than likely they will, but look at it. It could be a tactic of Dunmore. They could be a lot more of a better team with being aggressive runners and runners off the shoulder, so this could change. Like, they did only have 2 points and 2 shots at goal for points and both wides in that first half as well, so that's not too pleasing either for them.
One change for Dunmore, as we heard there on the PA, so Conor Mitchell comes in for Jamie Cohn as the ball is thrown in for the second half, and it's won by Shane McGrath. The one shining light from the first half for Dunmore, and McGrath drives forward, gives it off in turn, looking for the run from deep. Conor Mitchell making an immediate impact, looking for Thomas Gleeson, goes backwards to Martin Cleary. Cleary across the line, looking to try and get Dunmore a bit more into this game. Rory Walken uses Pádraig Costello. Again, the initial opportunity seems to have gone as Dunmore get back into this familiar cycle of having to come all the way back outside the 45 and suddenly turn around and face a green wall. Sean Murray on the right hand flank coming into the game for Dunmore, gives it off in turn now towards Dylan Brady, and we've got that familiar pattern of right to left and then straight across the other side, where Martin Cleary tries on the other flank to find Sean Murray. He goes for a pop at the post.
There we go.
Has he got the opening score? He has. Luke Murray. And what Dunmore couldn't manage in 31 minutes with the strong breeze into the wind, inside 50 seconds, they have got their first point on the board.
Yeah, it is, and look, it comes from probably a bit of patience in attack. They kind of get the ball up and they go back to the lethargic back and cross and over and back, but they exploit a gap, and Jake Sattery steps in, and it's a great score from Luke Murray then in the end.
Yeah, good point, good work, patient play, and that was all from the throw-in. So remember, James's didn't get their hands on the ball when Shane McGrath won the throw-in, and it ended up less than a minute later in being a point for Dunmore. Is there a bit of life left in the MacHales yet after a largely forgettable first half? Again, pressure being put on from the MacHales defence as Jack Folan holds on to the ball. Referee says play on. Nice ball into the centre from Sam O'Neill, looking for the run across the middle of Darren Neary. Neary has got Paul Conroy, also has a free coming on the advantage. Conroy had no real interest in playing on because he saw the late hit coming from Neary and the free that was coming. It's right on the 45, it's straight in the middle of the pitch, and this should be meat and drink for Paul Conroy with that breeze behind him. Well, the only thing he'll have to gauge is the breeze coming a little bit from right to left. So if he's to pop this straight up in the air, there is a danger the wind will blow it towards the left hand upright, but I don't need to be telling Paul Conroy that. He's gauging the conditions himself. He'll kick it off the hands into the town goal, right footed, gets plenty of purchase on it. He's going to drop it short though, into Conor Gleeson, and well, in a million years you couldn't have imagined he would have been dropping that one short given the wind that's behind him.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't expect that. And he usually is a long range shooter, and probably 45 yards out I would expect him to put it up and get another score for James's. But look at it's given Dunmore another lifeline.
It certainly has. It's also given them a counter attack where they're driving forward with Rory Walken, but again the ball spills from Colin Costello, fouls his man, and James's get it back on the edge of their own D. Again, just disappointing handling there. Chance for Costello, had the ball in his hands but then let it spill as the challenge came in, and that's disappointing from a Dunmore perspective. But for St. James's, they'll be very happy. They're defending and their tackling is excellent, isn't it? I mean, they get the hand in every time.
They do, yeah.
They look a very well coached, well drilled outfit, and St. James's come forward again looking for more. Here's Jonah Culligan, who got the last point of the first half. Back to Conroy, lovely quick hand pass into Sam O'Neill. O'Neill out this left hand side to Owen Finnerty. Finnerty back out the field to Sam O'Neill with his brother Jack. Of course, they've plenty of Clarenbridge connections as well, and would have played a bit of juvenile hurling for the club of Micheál Donoghue, who tomorrow night will be ratified as Galway senior hurling manager for the second time. Holding on to the ball is Sam O'Neill. Dunmore working tigerishly to try and win it back. Dylan Brady running and chasing, but Johnny Doohan is so calm and composed. Just jinks, drops the shoulder, pops it off to Jack O'Neill. O'Neill turned around again. Dylan Brady is still working so hard. If he was to win the ball, he'd get a huge cheer. But what he has done is forced James's back out the field.
He is, and it's hard work from Dylan Brady there. Like he's nearly made 2 complete turnovers and just broke both times to a St. James's man. But it's great work from him. And look, it's good from Dunmore. They're back in a defensive shape, kind of forcing St. James's now to go back with the ball. But the Dunmore are the team that need to create a bit of urgency.
It is a strange match though, where you're almost looking like the breeze is a disadvantage, almost inviting you to look to kick the ball long as an instinct, whereas the team that's able to hold the ball and make those runs from deep are the ones who are getting the scores. We've had 7 points in the game, and all 7 have come into the wind on the right hand side. Let's see if St. James's can break up that stat with Jack Folan getting it forward to Owen Finnerty. Still it's Culligan off the right. That's a good shot, but it's going to curl out to the right hand side and wide. It's another opportunity gone a begging. And right now you'd have to say 5 minutes into the second half, Dunmore are slowly but surely playing their way back into this game, when it really looked a lost cause the way they had conducted themselves in the opening half. But I think the reset button has given them a little bit of oxygen.
It has, yeah. And I can look at the next score in this game is key. Like it'll probably bring Dunmore within 1 or push it to 3. So it's that type of game that like the next score is probably key in this game.
It is early in the second half though. There's still plenty of time left, but this time Gleeson goes out towards Shane McGrath, who's starting to win ball now, and he's out jumping Sam O'Neill, who is an equally athletic but a far bigger man in terms of height. But McGrath's got a wonderful spring off the ground.
Yeah, he has, and he did super there to even he got up and he just plucked the ball and kind of knocked it down to himself, then plucked it clean.
Oh, it's a terrible free. Dunmore have kicked it away. Danny Ford has given it straight to St. James's, who can really punish now. Culligan has got a man in over the top, and there'll be a big price to pay here for that mistake as the ball is worked back out the field. An opportunity now with Darren Neary. Ball is dropped out to the left hand side and wide, however, and I think Danny Ford will be the most relieved man here. Just a complete lapse in concentration to kick the free straight to a St. James's man. And Dunmore will have to start again. Let's see what Gleeson has in store with this kick out. Again, people often blame the goalkeeper with kick-outs, but he's ready to go with the last 20 seconds, and there's no Dunmore player offering himself up for the kick-out. And in that instance, he kicks it over the head of Conor Mitchell, and it goes out for a sideline ball to St. James's on the 65-metre line. Conroy goes backwards. Looked like it was picked straight off the ground, and is by Darren Neary. Dunmore win it back. Now, is there a quick free to be taken by Thomas Gleeson? Just kicks it infield. Does well to find Martin Cleary. Cleary looking up, looking for one in over the top. Decent ball. Who's going to get there? Poor Costello, just about. But he's forced away from goal. Gives it back to McGrath. Oh, beautiful jig. Such balance. Free in Dunmore on the 13-metre line. He is a real handful, isn't he? And he
he
goes
is.
short with the kick, and he gives it out across, and it should be a point, and it's chipped up, and he's put it over the bar. It should be a point. Dunmore is certainly claiming it's a point, and in the end, Paul Conroy is trying to make a decision. The linesman on this near side, Dandy Kelly, it certainly looked like it was a point. But why Shane McGrath decided to go short with the free is anyone's guess. If this isn't a point, Dunmore will be absolutely killing themselves. And it's flagged as a wide ball to the right hand side. Well, that is nothing short of a disaster.
It is, and that's exactly it. Like, it was a brilliant piece of work from Shane McGrath to win the foul, but he takes it off, kicks it away short on the 13-metre line.
Wasn't 10, and in the end, the ball is kicked out to the right hand side.
Wide.
Looked like Jake Slattery in the end, right footed.
It's a big miss in terms of, like, it was probably a 1 point game. Probably pressure coming on to James's. Dunmore looked like they've came out and started with a bit of intent the first 10 minutes.
Well, that's a big turning point, and the reality is if St James's go down and score next, then it will be the ultimate kick in the teeth to Dunmore. Lee Vahy bursting forward, looking on the overlap. Here's a chance, should be a score. O'Neill off the right, pulls it though, and it's inside the post. It's still a score. Jack O'Neill.
And that's what we talk about, Ollie. That's the little turning point there. Like, it's a 1 point game to now a 3 point game. Do you know, it's probably just it's a moment of inexperience for Shane McGrath just to kick that ball for that free.
Yeah, well, you can see what he was trying to do. Had that ball gone to hand and Slattery put it into the back of the net, everyone would say, what a brilliant piece of quick thinking.
Yeah.
The point was the free that was taken quickly dropped short. He had to go down to the bootlaces to pick it up, and then from no more than the penalty spot, bombed the ball up into the air. It still looked like it was a point, but the umpires, after some consultation with the linesman, eventually decided no, the ball went wide. And from what was a tap over 14-yard free, Dunmore miss it, and down the field St James's get a point, and we may look back on that moment as being the one that has turned the game completely in St James's favour, just when Dunmore looked like they were back within a point and back in the game. But such are the moments in which senior championship games can change. Conor Mitchell, he's made a difference since he's come in at half time. Now operating at midfield after Danny Ford. Toe to hand, looking for support, not a lot of options, so it goes across to Luke Murray, the only point scorer for Dunmore today. 1-1 for the MacHales, 7 points for St James's. On this right hand side, Dunmore still hold on to the ball with Rory Walken. Walken back to Pádraig Costello. Dunmore playing an awful lot more football in this second half. In the 10 minutes that we've had, attacking the goal to our right hand side than they had in the entire first half. So they've definitely got their act together, but kicking into this wind, it's very hard to see where all these scores are going to come from. Colm Costello very close to the ground, but does well to pick that up. All it does is recycle the ball, however, back outside the 45 again. So more looking up, but no options, and nobody inside the 20-metre line as St James's read the pass, intercepted, and Johnny Duan bursts out with the ball. Off to Lee Vahy. Vahy now driving forward with that familiar tied up ponytail. Across to Paul Conroy, looking for support. He's got a man behind him. That's Culligan. Across to O'Neill. Sam, that is. And he's happy to slow the game down and bring Owen Finnerty into the play. Finnerty chips it across into the middle of the field, 60 yards out from the Dunmore goal. Now attacking the town goal. Possession with Johnny Duan. Back it goes to Jack Nolan. And James's are happy now to retake a little bit of control of this fixture. All the while,
just a small difference of even the 2 points of attack between the two teams. Like, you look at St James there, the players set in different positions, probably to attack. They have one high and wide. Where you watched them more, they kind of all just cluttered at the top of the 45. It didn't really look like they had an idea how to spread the attack. Like, look at the space now. Paul Connery's kicking into for one forward there.
And it should be a mark, but it's dropped.
It's unlucky. Like,
should have been a mark. Dropped over there by Des Hines, who has to recycle the ball now back up along the far touchline into the waiting arms of Johnny Duan. How much ball has he got on? Plays it infield, a little 1-2. Duan still holds on to it. Not a lot of options, so can take his time. Solo back across and hand pass it off in turn towards Jack Folan. Folan to Sam O'Neill, inside to Conroy on the 45. He's got a runner outside him. Times it nicely for Darren Neary. He might have a pop or else give it back to Conroy, who has loads of time to pick a hand pass. Does so beautifully through to Fintan Cooney. Cooney back out the field. Doesn't take long before Conroy gets involved again. Fintan Cooney keeps the run on the loop and eventually must be up on 40 passes now for St. James's. They're just holding the ball. It's like sevens football.
Yeah, they're completely controlling it and just going back and over, making this Dunmore team tire out. Till they take the energy out of them that they came out at the first 10 minutes of the second half. 7
points to 1-1. That scoreboard hasn't changed and is unlikely to, unless St. James's decide that they're going to put the boot down and go for a score. But right now they're just interested in killing the clock. Maybe that's one of the rule changes that the football committee should look at. But Levi has dropped the ball in the middle of the field and Dunmore suddenly have turned it over. Colm Costello from nowhere has won it back to Martin Cleary. Now suddenly everybody is running backwards. That's what happens when you have an individual error. Everybody has to scamper into a mass defence. Dunmore aren't sprinting forward with nearly as much purpose, and so St. James's suddenly, as if you blow the whistle, inside 10 seconds they've got everybody back inside their 45. It's just a ridiculous state of affairs at the moment, Gaelic football. I'm sure Jim Gavin and his crew have their work cut out, whether they force teams to leave 3 players at all times in the opposite half of the field. Well, that's only the start of it. I think a lot of the problem is with the amount of time that teams are allowed to hold on to the ball. That in itself would certainly change things if you were on a shot clock like basketball. Dunmore go for a bit of an up and under, but it's a nothing ball straight into the goalkeeper. And sometimes you just run out of ideas and you go for the Hail Mary route one.
And that's exactly what happened to Dunmore there. They just decided to go route one, Hail Mary ball in, where they just ran out of ideas, and now it just gives the ball back to James and they can play the game again on their terms.
And they get a free as well, and they'll take their time, and Dunmore getting frustrated, but it's all very, very predictable. And St. James's now have time to make a change as well. So they're taking off Fintan Cooney and they're bringing in Stephen McCooey at full forward. So it's straight swap. Fintan Cooney will be delighted. A former underdog on TG Cahir as well. The Spittleman, who's now playing his football for the last number of years with St. James's. So it's James's who we start with possession in the middle of the field. And all the time we've ticked on to 45 minutes, so 3/4 of the game gone. 15 minutes to go. Only 1 point apiece in the second half. And it has been a largely forgettable encounter. Dunmore really had an opportunity to make a game of it a couple of minutes ago, but a quick free went to begging. Down the field came St. James's, and even with the breeze, the only score they've got is through Jack O'Neill from play, which is somewhat disappointing from their point of view. But of course they are controlling the match. They might get a score here as Des O'Neill drops it in around the house. Is that a goal? No, it's a good save, but the ball isn't gone yet. And then Dunmore somehow managed to clear their lines, and that will be a free out for the MacHales on the edge of their small square.
It's a great save from Conor Gleeson. So it is.
Well, it was an opportunity, there's no doubt about it, for Aaron Connolly, as the ball was dropped across the square from Des Hines. It was an effort at a point, but Connolly got the 2 hands on it. Looked like it was destined for the top corner, but Gleeson had time to take a step. There wasn't much pace on it, in fairness, and it was very savable, but he still kept it out. You'd have to say a goal at that stage for St. James's, and it was curtains. Dunmore now at the other end have got themselves a mark, albeit 45 yards out from goal, close to the far touchline. This is, I would say, borderline impossible, as Costello goes for an effort. It's some effort, it's some kick. It's high, it's up, it's over.
Wow.
That's an extraordinary kick from Colm Costello. And not alone did it go over the black spot, but it went over with some distance.
It did, some kick.
That's a phenomenal bit of play.
And now it's given a bit of life to Dunmore.
Well, it might just be a big moment in this game, because I don't think too many would have given him an opportunity to put that over the bar, but such is the prodigious nature of his kick that suddenly it has probably made St. James's rethink as well about conceding a ball just somehow reclaimed by Colin Lyons after it was almost dropped. Looks like he picked up a little bit of a knock there in the middle of it all as well. But Dunmore have held on to possession, 40 yards out from goal. Colm Costello's mark, and the kick from 40 metres has made it now 1-2 to 7 points. And Dunmore come again. Jake Slattery outside the right. Oh, it's a beautiful strike. Up and over the bar. It's a classic score.
It's unreal.
And there was a real confidence about the way young Slattery struck that one. 35 yards out, outside of the right into the wind.
Brilliant
That's
score.
A wonderful technical skill.
Brilliant score. It's and look at it, it's given some life to Dunmore. That Colm Costello free it's like it's changed the whole team around. The last 3-4 minutes have been different, and look at another break again, and it's a Dunmore ball.
Now you can hear the surge through the crowd as if somebody has flicked a switch on 48 minutes and says, right, Dunmore, let's start playing now. And suddenly the MacHales have come to life. We were wondering when we'd see the Dunmore MacHales team that had taken a 1-8 to 2 point lead over Moycullen in the first half of the opening round of the championship. Granted, they lost in the end by 3-7 to 1-12, but there were moments in that first half in the opening round where Dunmore looked a real top 5 senior football championship contender. That all fell apart a little bit in the second half, but here they come now looking to try and level the match up. Ball is drifting out to the right hand side and wide.
Free in
from Thomas Leeson, but he knew there was a free coming, and so a chance for Colm Costello to level the match for Dunmore with 11 minutes to go.
Wow, it's some turning event, and probably the 46th minute it looked like that it was dead and buried. James's were going to control the rest of the game, and now Colm Costello has a free to level the game. It's crazy. So
well, let's wind it back. Conor Gleeson's save stopped it becoming 1-7 to 1-1, and that would have been curtains. The ball broke out, it was kept in play. Dunmore got a free out, and up they came and got a point from a mark. A massive turning point in the game. Here's Costello. This time goes with the outside of the right. It's a big kick.
Great score.
But this time it's Pádraig Costello who manages anything you can do. And Pádraig, the elder of the two, has driven that one with a far different skill. That was the instep. He drilled it into the breeze, almost outside of the right. But the same result. Dunmore are level. 1-4 to 7 points, and we've 10 minutes left.
And there's a real squeeze on. You can even hear the crowd is starting to get behind them as well here.
Long kick out forced from James Egan. Let's see where it breaks. Breaks for Dunmore. Oh, ball almost dropped there by Rory Walkin, but on his knees he managed to gather the ball and all in one movement flicked it off to Jake Slattery. There's almost an innocence about Dunmore that they don't deal with pressure. They just go for things, try things. Here's Pádraig Costello thinking about it off the right now. This is ambitious. Costello high. Costello up.
Wow.
Oh, you cannot be serious. Pádraig Costello with one of the best points you'll ever see in Chum Stadium.
That
he didn't even look. And no look over the left shoulder bomb
it's a brilliant
from the
score.
touchline.
It's a brilliant score. And Ollie, in the last 5 minutes, I don't know what's happened to this Dunmore team, but it's just turned the event, and they've just drove at the heart of the St. James's defence and just got the ball to Pádraig Costello and Colm Costello. They're scorers on the team, and it's been a real game changer, I suppose. Well,
it's hard for St. James's to believe that the team that they were tipping around with 5 minutes ago have suddenly turned into Currafin in the space of a couple of minutes. This is quite bizarre. Dunmore lead by 1-5 to 7 points, but of course St. James's have the breeze advantage, and they will know they need their big man on the ball. That's Conroy looking for support. Dunmore converge, 2 players on him, and a foul against Conroy for leading with the arm. An offensive foul, and the referee gives the free to Dunmore and brings it forward 13 metres. And it's all happened so quickly. There hasn't really been time for St. James's to adjust, even on the sideline, to react. And right now Barry Downey is down there going, what has just gone on? It's like as if you turned your back on the scoreboard, and instead of almost being 6 up, which they should have been, they find themselves 1 down. And now Dunmore coming with all of the confidence that the youthful exuberance of their team brings them, and they come looking for a point to put them 2 up on the 45. 8 to go plus stoppages. Dunmore by 1-5 to 7 points. It's that man Costello, Pádraig. It's like he's in a personal battle with Colm to see who could kick the best point. Well, Pádraig has the upper hand on that one.
Yeah, he sure
after
does.
The last one, an extraordinary point from play, and that was after Colm had kicked the point of the day from a mark. And 3 points from pretty much the same spot. Underneath the scoreboard, 40 yards out. Unbelievable skill. I mean, you would forgive St. James's to think, leave them alone because there's nobody going to kick a point from there.
Yeah.
But 1-5-7, Dunmore lead. Can they build on it? Martin Cleary. Now it's Dunmore who have taken over the mantle of controlling the tempo of this game. And now they're the ones inviting St. James's to come running at them. How quickly things have turned in this game.
It's mad. It's absolutely mental. I think at the 46th minute it was that save from Conor Gleeson has completely turned the game on a screw, and it's Dunmore dictating it now at these last 7 or 8 minutes, so it has been.
Well, they will need another score though to put the pressure on. There's Shane Gleeson, Shane McGrath. He needs to have a shot though as he goes through, and the referee is entitled to blow him back because he says McGrath took too many steps and I've got to give you the advantage to the first free. Shane McGrath acknowledges the referee and a little smile at Christopher Ryan because he knows the referee is 100% correct. He gives the signal now for St. James's to make a change. So the City side need a bit of impetus. They're bringing in Dan McNulty. They're taking off corner forward Jack Nolan, and they need a little bit of help from somewhere. But this is a free for Dunmore to put them 2 up. What a big kick this is.
Massive.
For Pádraig Costello. No, it's not simple. He's 30 yards out. He's right of the posts. And off the right, he pulls it badly. And that was a pressure kick, and he knew it.
Yeah, it was. It was a tough kick, but it's a really tough kick into that swirling wind as well. The wind is probably blown from the left-hand side of the pitch across to nearly the northeast
well,
side.
what he should have done was taken a leaf out of Jake Slattery's book and kicked it with the outside of the right.
Exactly, yeah, that's probably an option to look at.
That's why he's shaking his head, because he knew that he picked the wrong shot.
Yeah.
And now coming forward, St. James's have a free on the other side. If Pádraig Costello had his time over again, and he's still rubbing his head because he knows it was the completely wrong style of shot to take for that free. If he drilled that one with the outside of the right, there's no way he would have missed. And now down the other end, Conroy has a free to level the match. And don't rule a draw out here. It could well be the second match in a row that St. James's draw in this championship. They drew at Monivea Abbey first time out. And this kick from Conroy will level it up with 5 minutes to go. Off the right, it's high, it's up, it's looking good, and the umpire goes for the flag. Paul Conroy levels the match.
Super
at
score.
the other end, Costello shakes his head. He knows that he had the chance to put 2 between them, but Conroy with the free makes it 1-5 to 8 points. And you'd still have to say, despite that purple patch from Dunmore, which yielded those 4 points in a row, St. James's will still fancy their chances as being the favourites here, given that they have the breeze advantage. They have Conroy. They've the chance to kick a point from 50 metres.
Yeah,
albeit
when
Costello did something
down,
with that breeze when it's counting down. So James's will still fancy themselves here, but what we have is a match very delicately poised. 4 minutes to go, and the sides are level, and Dunmore have given it away. Poor bit of play from Luke Murray, but he's somehow managed to win it back as he over-soloed the ball. Dunmore have got it back with Colm Costello, and now he manages to kick it across the face of the goal, but again, it was a bit of a wild effort.
And it's an ambitious effort. I think you're probably all right there, Ollie. They're kind of having a competition between themselves of who could kick the better score. It was a very ambitious effort out there in the far left-hand side of the pitch.
Pádraig Martin comes in now. This is a young lad who was an absolute superstar with the Dunmore Community School in their kind of college's successes of recent times. He's a big lad, but he's a very young lad, and he's going straight in to the full forward line. And Dunmore were caught napping there because nobody had picked up the right positions, and that left a short kick out from James Egan to Owen Finnerty, but Finnerty has hand-passed the ball out over the sideline in front of the dugouts, and so Dunmore have it back. Is it next score wins, Pádraig?
I still think there's probably about 4 or 5 minutes added time as well from Christopher, so you're probably looking at the next 10 minutes, but I think in terms of both teams will get an attack each, and probably who can execute it better, I suppose.
That's what it's all about. Who will take the chance that comes their way? And there may be one gilt-edged chance each left in this game. Dunmore will be very happy to play their way back into this game, which looked like it had gone away from them. Remember, they trailed by 6 points to a goal at half-time but made a great start to the second half. Shane McGrath coming through. Beautiful balance. McGrath, he's in on goal, goes for a hand pass. What are Dunmore doing? And in the end, the ball is driven out to the right-hand side and wide. An absolute gilt-edged opportunity. McGrath soloed straight through, and instead of punching a point, flicked it across to the corner back, Colin Comer, who, standing almost in front of the goals, has blazed it out to the right hand side and wide.
That was it, Ollie. I think he just had to hand pass the ball over the bar, didn't he, on the run there? Just get that score up. It's a massive opportunity for Dunmore gone to waste.
Well, that's two chances. They had a 14-yard free in front of the post that McGrath decided to take quickly. That ended up in a wide, and what seemed like a very simple punch point from the penalty spot, he elected to go for a killer pass to a corner back who blazed it wide from a much worse angle. And that's another point gone a begging. And now Dunmore could find themselves behind if Darren Neary goes for a point here, but he doesn't. He goes backwards to Conroy on the 45-metre line. 90 seconds to go plus stoppages. What a chance that was for Dunmore. Colin Comer putting it out to the right-hand side and wide from no more than about 6 yards out. Now it comes across this near side for St. James's. 3 minutes to be added. 3 minutes standing between Dunmore and James's, and a draw, or one of these sides maybe winning it. Ball breaks inside. Aaron Connolly flicks it across. Here's a chance for McGooey, the sub. He's in on goal. Is it a chance of a goal? A great block by Gleeson. It spins up and over the bar. Is it? No. It's touched out and Dunmore have it. And it's Colin Comer coming out from defence, but he doesn't get rid of the ball. Gives it to Conroy, who puts it over the bar.
It's a super
Colin
turnover.
Comer coming out from defence.
Who was it?
Lost the ball to Conroy, and he turned to put it over the bar. And what a chance that was.
Yeah, it's a super turnover
for St. James's to take the lead, and they haven't looked a gift horse in the mouth. 9 points to 1-5.
It's a super turnover here from Jack O'Neill. Comes in, waits for the ball for the Dunmore back to make a hop, and he just dispossesses him perfectly. Breaks to the path to Paul Connor, and he makes no mistake. And look like that could be the crucial score.
Well, that's the chance. Dunmore got away with it with the save by Conor Gleeson, who's made two great saves in this second half to keep Dunmore's net intact. But when the rebound worked out for Dunmore, they just needed to get the ball out of there. They didn't. It was turned over, and it's gone back over the bar like a flash, and now Dunmore have to get a point to get a draw out of this. You'd think their second half efforts deserve it, but if they're to fall short by a point for the second game in a row, it will be a bitter pill to swallow. But they have still plenty of opportunities. Costello looking for McGrath. He'll be really livid with the opportunities he had to get a score. He's got a man all alone inside, plays it through. Here's an opportunity. It's that man Comer, goes to ground, no foul. Another opportunity. Colin Comer losing the ball in the tackle when he was through on goal. Oh, there's been so many opportunities for Dunmore in the final third, and
great.
They've all come a cropper. Long ball driven out to Lee Vahy. Brilliant ball from the keeper. Vahy drops it, but all over the back of him is Luke Murray, but St. James's hold on to the ball, and Dunmore look like they're going to come up just short. 30 seconds of the 3 minutes gone.
It's a great tackle there from Peter Healy. He kind of gets in nice and late, waits for Colin Comer as he's on the run, and kind of just makes contact with him on the run and probably knocks him off balance. Just dispossessed at the wrong time for Dunmore.
Well, that's three big moments involving Colin Comer in the last 2 minutes, and unfortunately they've all gone against the MacHales. But great work from St. James's, it must be said, including two absolutely brilliantly timed tackles, which saved a score at one end and yielded a point at the other. And now James's are running down the clock. They've got 1 minute and 40 seconds left, and they're going to claim what looked like a very obvious victory a half an hour ago, but they've had to work so hard for it, and this is going to be a bitter pill for Dunmore to swallow. A second 1 point defeat, and they're staring down the barrel as Johnny Doohan, coming out from defence, holds onto the ball a long time. In the end, the referee was milliseconds away from giving over carrying against Johnny Doohan, but now Dunmore are forced to really put the pressure on and try and win this ball back. But St. James's are coming up along the left-hand touchline with Owen Finnerty, and this could be the insurance point. He's in on goal. Finnerty from the right drives it up and drives it out to the right and wide. What a chance.
A minute left too.
Anything even remotely over the bar and that's game over, but somehow he's blazed it from 13 metres out to the right hand side and wide, and Conor Gleeson now will have a chance, and Dunmore, to restart the game and get an equaliser. But really, that should have been game over.
It should have been, yeah. Look at it. You're missing from the 13-yard line. It's a big miss, and look at it. Could be a costly one yet. We never know.
Good work from Jake Slattery on the left-hand side with the pressure on. Colin Lyons, well, Dunmore know what they have to do now. They just simply have to come up the field and get an equaliser, and they've only got 30 seconds to do it. Last attack of the game. Dunmore to get a draw, or James is to hold on and win by one. Colm Costello with the ball. 25 yards out from goal on the right hand touchline, no one near him, and Dunmore don't have time to be dilly-dallying. Christopher Ryan looks at his watch. Have they even got time to get forward? Colin Lyons, 15 seconds. They need to get it to the inside line. Lyons looking for support. He's not prepared to gamble. In it goes to Martin Cleary. He's got to know that the clock is against him. In it goes. Now is there a shot from distance? Off the left it comes. It's ambitious. It's across the face of the goal, and it's a wide ball. The shot has been missed. Dunmore look like they're beaten. In the end, the final shot came in from Jack Jordan, and that wide means that it is going to be St. James's that hold on for the victory, and Dunmore will lose out, and they will find so many reasons why this game went away. As the kick out comes, it's the end. James's win by one. It's another 1 point defeat for Dunmore MacHales. They're second in the championship, but for St. James's it's 3 points out of 4. They're into the knockout stages.
They are, yeah. Look at it. For 45 minutes of the game, you'd probably say yes, James is going to win it. For the last 10 minutes, Dunmore got a lot of energy, brought a lot of different class, probably going along the thing. Two Costellos stepped into it and probably just fell short in terms of probably just didn't start early enough in that game.
Well, let's be fair. Dunmore didn't score a single point in the first half playing with the breeze. That's ultimately cost them.
It has, yeah, and that's probably what it is. Like, I think we said it there, they had 2 wides in the first half alone, just from 2 point attempts. Like, that's probably not a great turnover from 30 minutes of football with a breeze as stellar as it was.
Well, 9 points is enough for St. James's to win this game. For Dunmore MacHales, they made a great fight of it in the second half, but they've come up short. And now in the final round, Dunmore MacHales play Monavea Abbey in a real dogfight of a match, where the two sides who've won the last 2 intermediate championships will bid to avoid being dragged into the relegation battle. For the other, whoever wins that game, they will remain in the championship, and of course a draw will be enough for Monavea Abbey, given that they drew first time out. But for St. James's, they're all smiles. The city side will leave with the 2 championship points. They have beaten Dunmore MacHales on a final scoreline of 9 points for St. James's, 1-5 for Dunmore MacHales. My thanks to co-commentator Pádraig Cunningham and to Brian Murphy on camera, and thank you for everybody watching on Galway GA TV.
We redefine your relationship with energy, save you money, and get you on the path to a cleaner, greener future. JFW Renewables, your nationwide solar energy specialists. Call us today for a greener tomorrow.
QFinancial.ie got the price and advice for me.
Pension auto-enrolment will soon be introduced. This means that all full-time workers over the age of 23 earning more than €20,000 per year must contribute to a pension, and employers must contribute. What are those pension entitlements, and is there independent advice available? The Q Financial Pension Team are experienced in advising both employees and employers of the positive and affordable options available for your situation. Call 091 421 900 or log on to qfinancial.ie.
Q Financial, qfinancial.ie.
Based in Clare, Galway, OMA Financial Services Limited, trading as qfinancial.ie, is an authorised independent pension intermediary regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Bit of play here, still jinking his way left and right, trying to get it onto the more favoured right boot. It's Dylan Brady, gets it off to McGrath, bursts down through the centre. McGrath might think about going low here. McGrath is in on goal, shot back of the net from Shane McGrath. He is absolutely lethal. 1 goal to no score to Dunmore MacHales, or 1-0 in John's parlance. Now that's going to change. That's a brilliant strike and a brilliant score. Taps this one over the bar and does. That makes it a goal to 2 points. Dunmore have definitely changed tactics. You can see them. O'Neill is there, an in product here. Conroy's a man all alone in the centre. Here's a chance now for Johnny Culligan. Off the right, has a go at it. Should be a point, and is.
Equaliser. 2 or 3 point breeze, and it's a big kick into the big kick. A 50-yard kick would probably be reasonable.
But more fans weren't too impressed. But at the other end, a chance for St James's. Up and over the bar. Another fabulous score.
Yeah, it's a great score.
Ball back to Sam O'Neill. Lovely flick across. Aaron Connolly. Back it goes. Should be a point. The ball kicked from Culligan up and over the bar.
Great score.
Jonah Culligan tries on the other flank to find Sean Murray. He goes for a pop at the post.
There we go.
Has he got the opening score? He has. Luke Murray. Here's a chance. Should be a score. O'Neill off the right. Pulls it though. And it's inside the post. It's still a score. Jack O'Neill. Possible. As Costello goes for an effort. It's some effort. It's some kick. It's
wow.
high. It's up. It's over.
Wow.
That's it. 1-2 to 7 points. And Dunmore come again. Jake Slattery outside the right. That's a beautiful strike. Up and over the bar. It's a massive turning point in the game. Here's Costello. This time goes with the outside of the right. It's a big kick.
Great score.
This time kicking about it off the right. This is ambitious. Costello high. Costello.
Wow.
Oh, you cannot be serious. Costello. Put it up with 5 minutes to go. Off the right. It's high. It's up. It's looking good. And the umpire goes for the flag. Paul Conroy. No. It's touched out and Dunmore have it. And it's Colin Comer coming out from defence. But he doesn't get rid of the ball. Gives it to Conroy, who puts it over the bar.
It's a super turnover.